Hello.
Well.
What's going on, player? He goes, can I call him player? I was like, yes, you probably can.
What's up, player?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Am I a player?
Yeah, dude, truly in every sense of the word. I mean, you're an honored member of the
I mean it
team.
in the most positive sense, dude. I really do.
You don't think I'm an NPC?
Listen, you're a valued member of this team. This is Matthew, by the way, is our photographer, third member of TCB. So we thought
What's up?
You're Matthew, and then are you Luke in the middle?
Yeah. What's up, dude?
Dude, I don't think we've met. I'm Freeze.
I know. What's your name? What's your actual name? Not player, but.
Oh, Nordista.
That's your actual name? That's so sick.
It actually is my name.
No way.
From birth, Luke. It was his name from birth.
Wow. I just thought that was a really sick name, but that's even cooler that it's your name. I'm just Luke, so.
I was reading y'all's Spotify bio just to see, like, earlier, just to see if, there was anything I, had missed. Didn't know that there was, like, some obvious thing, like you guys won American Idol or something. And it says, like, the Rising Atlanta Rock, the Rising Alt, it's not ATL, Alt Rock outfit, heralding. And then I read Atlanta, Atticus, and Luke Ronis. And I thought it was saying that y'all were like triplets. It was like Atlanta, Atticus, and Luke. I was like, whoa.
Well,
but I misread it.
Atlanta,
yeah, we don't talk about Atlanta much.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You need to update your bio. He's not in any of y'all's pictures.
I know. We need to put he's just a silent partner. So, he just helps with the writing, doesn't like to be around much, but we try and give him some love when we can. He's also not real. He's also fake.
He's also in y'all's head. What are y'all doing right now?
Bro, we just got out of a little creative meeting for the new single. We're in my car. We were just listening to demos for the record we're trying to make, man.
Oh, no joke.
No joke. Seriously, you caught me in the act. I swear to God.
Really?
I have nothing left in my hands, man.
Wait, are y'all working on a whole new album?
Yeah, we've got some songs written. We're gonna try and go in the studio probably around April and try and cut something. So, trying to really do it. Do it the Freeze way.
Hey, thank you. I'm trying to do it y'all's way. I think I'm done.
The TCB way.
I don't even know if I can make an album. I heard Wonderman, right? That's the new single. Man. Comes out on Friday.
That's right.
Atticus gave me the link, Luke. I don't know if he told you, so I could be prepared for this interview.
But now I'm aware.
Nordista, don't tattle on me, man.
No, Nordista, you have to tell me everything.
I'll be completely transparent with you. Atticus sent me the song, man. I'm sorry.
I'll slap him on the wrist.
It sounds great. I think I saw in y'all's bio you described it as like a mix between maybe Elton John and Billy Joel.
Yeah, for fans who can't choose, there's a lifelong debate of who's better. And I felt like it was a good way to mix the American and British like sounds of the piano rock world. So
yeah, right. I think I couldn't pick one between the two. I really, really like the song though. Y'all should be really proud of it. It sounds great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to. What started out just that like kind of the pounding beginning that kind of became the verse, it also became the hook with the woes and whatever. I mean, we weren't actually planning on making that one, but everyone really likes it live, and we kind of had already started flirting with the piano rock sound with the Falling Out of Love single, so we kind of wanted to capitalize on that and kind of show like. There's a lot of that on the record, so we kind of wanted people to kind of know what we're doing there.
So the 3 songs that are already out are in this new song. Is this all leading towards an album?
Yeah, so we were thinking about that. I mean, that was the plan, but obviously things, like when we did "Gimme Love," that was right out of the pandemic, so like we didn't really know what we were doing with that. Like we were just like we were in an alt pop group before that called Aqua Shade, like for fans of like Laney in the 1975, except just much worse than them. But it was like, but it was that sound. And
dude, I love that stuff.
I know, us too, man. But we're just like, man, we're just doing it worse on a lesser budget, and it's not really doing much for me anymore. So, me and Luke just kind of went into quarantine. Like I was starting to write much more like 60s, 70s, 80s retro pop rock. I mean, Luke can tell you, Pet Sounds was the only thing I listened to all of quarantine. So, like, we just went in on the notebook. So we're just writing a lot.
Wow.
And we were gonna go by that name still, like, because a couple of band members had left. So we were like, we'll just use Aqua Shade since we've already used it for so long. And then I don't remember when it happened. It was me and Luke were just, I was like, Luke, shoot me straight. Do you hate our band name? And he was like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I was like, okay, fine. Then I guess we got to change it. So, and Matthew was a part of the process online because we couldn't see each other. It was a sad day.
I forgot
because of quarantine.
those sad days.
Where were you, Matthew?
Yeah, where were you, man?
Where was I?
Where were you, man?
Yeah.
I was at my house probably, but no, it was just right when quarantine hit. So
Yeah.
like at that point, I was just.
Right.
I mean, Atticus was literally one of the only people that I talked to consistently outside of my like family that I was quarantined with. And so it was really nice to have him because like it was, you know, I do visual like photography, video, like all that sort of stuff, but like I wasn't able to do any of that. So it was nice to at least be able to like have some sort of creative back and forth expression through like talking with Atticus about the new image for the band, what's going to come with that, and just him like sharing me songs every day, man. Like almost every day he would just call me with like a new song he wrote. We just talk about it. So yeah, that's what I was doing during that time.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the whole project was birthed.
Oh shit! Hold on, something happened.
Lost your light. It's okay. Luke can't really be seen either way, so it's all for Atticus.
Yeah.
No, you
Okay,
can't
I'm
be
right
seen.
here.
You're just a silhouette.
That's
Ooh, nice glasses.
I appreciate it, Nordista.
Those are really
Yeah,
cute.
we call them. This is me. Take me or leave me.
Yeah, the GQ vibe.
Yeah, I know. GQ. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, that was basically what we were doing. We were basically trying to write. I mean, literally, I was writing stuff then that probably won't come out for years. Like, I just was going through that phase of just writing. Like, I mean, one song, two songs a day. Like, just even if it was terrible, I just had to get it out,
Right.
just to do it. So, you know, it was kind of that whole thing of just like, you know, I mean, that was the only thing we could do at that time. So, you know,
Right.
but yeah, it was great to have Matthew. And I mean, I would just FaceTime and be like, I need help with this part, and he would help me. But yeah, basically we just were like, you know, we don't really fit with the old brand and we needed a new brand. So I knew I wanted the old band was called Aqua Shade. So I wanted still like the color blue somehow to be incorporated in the name,
Right.
still like kind of like, you know, a carry on from what we had before.
Yeah.
And what's happening here? Something's happening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. I like the new angle.
Why is he not coming through?
Audio setting.
Oh, yeah. Hello?
Yo,
See, why is that happening? Let's see.
you can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's faint for some reason. Don't you hear that, Matt?
You want me to
Yes, I do,
yell?
Matt. Well, let's see here.
I'll yell.
Well, I would love a good yell, but let's see why this is happening.
Ah!
Let's see if it comes through.
Wait, try now.
Try now, say something.
Yo.
There, what was that?
It wasn't on speaker anymore.
Oh, that's so weird. Sorry about that, bro. But yeah, so I just told him, I was like, yeah, we need to come up with a new name. So blue is in the name. I wanted it like, you know, when you think of Pink Floyd, you don't think of the color pink. You're just thinking like, oh man, you know, they just defined what that was for them.
Right.
You know, so they kind of exceeded the color in that way. So I was like, you know, when we did the corduroy blue, I purposely talked to Matt. I was like, we want to make it orange, want to make it red, like want to make it so that it's not gimmicky, where it's like, you know, we're known for the color blue, and we kind of wanted to extend beyond like the brand, the gimmicky brand, like wanted to make it, the name itself was its own brand. So
Yeah.
you know how that is. So
Mhm.
then the corduroy part, I was just in my closet, like feeling a bunch of fabric until I felt like this corduroy jacket that I loved, and I was like, that's it. That's the name of the band. So
Wow.
the corduroy blue, man.
I think it's a great name. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So what is y'all's like, I guess, sibling relationship with the band? I mean, have y'all been doing music together forever? And
Well, we hate each
Yeah,
other.
I don't like him. I do this because I have
He's
I
forced
have
to.
no choice. I'm just kidding. No, we've been playing music since we were in like 7th, 8th grade. So like we don't know it. Like we live like we don't know anything besides playing music together as siblings. Like that's like
Right.
part of our relationship. So it's really cool to like I've never had someone I play music with such good chemistry. Like we already know what we need to do as far as like when we're jamming out and stuff, because we played for so long. We knew exactly like what we're gonna do. So that's really fun as far as writing and jamming goes. Yeah, I mean he's my best friend. It's really fun to like make music with him and also be his brother. It's cool.
Yeah,
That's really
so
cool.
That's sweet words, baby girl.
Yeah, I tried, dude.
I mean, for me and Luke, it's like he said it. Like when we're on stage, I know what he's gonna do before we do it, and I'm erratic, so it's cool that he gets to kind of keep up with that. But like we just there's nobody else I want to play with. So I mean, and also too, it works out. Like I write the songs for the most part, and I play guitar and sing, and he plays drums. But in our band, it works out really well. Like the drums are by far, Matthew can attest, like some of them, and probably the most important instrumental piece. Just because the rhythm is super important. And so, if you listen back to the records, like, I mean, his drumming is great on those, so it feels like that's not just a backing drummer. Like that's a guy, you could tell the other part of the band who really takes a lot of pride in what he's playing. So it's an honor to play with them. We argue about everything except for music as brothers. Like we'll argue about like who takes out the trash or who takes out the dishes, or
like, we're playing basketball, like what a foul is, like stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, but when it comes to music, we're
like that hit home for Nadista. He knows that all too well.
He knows it. He knows the play. He's a player. He's a true player. But
true.
When it comes to music, we just clicked. So it's like, and we had other people in, and I'm sure you know what that's like. Just getting, some people to play with, and sometimes it's a fit, sometimes it's not. And I'm glad it's a fit with my own brothers. So, because I don't know what it's gonna be if it's not. So
yeah, that's really special. So I guess as this new entity, have y'all, I guess probably haven't had too many show opportunities since you started during the pandemic, right?
Yeah. So the timeline is, so we were starting to record Give Me Love. Everything was going great under the old name, and then pandemic hit. We obviously halted the recording process because we weren't at our own home studio or anything like that. We're actually in another guy's basement, so that was cool. We couldn't go in there then. So
Right.
and everything got obviously stopped for a couple months, and then changed the name. Then I started working at a record store because I had obviously lost my old job. So I started working at a record store, and the main reason was like, I was like, hey man, if we work together, like safely see if we can start like, get everyone to wear masks, see if we can like put on acoustic shows here just to get the vibe back. And because they were open and kicking. And so I was like, that's kind of how it started. I wasn't even going to work there. I was just going to start playing. And then I worked there, and I love it. It's called Waterloo Sunset Records. Rep if you're in the ATL area, hit up Waterloo Sunset. But anyways, we started playing there, and that's really where we started. Like once we released Gimme Love, we played, I mean, at least into 2020 to the beginning of 2021. We played all our shows at the record store. Like we just basically created our own opportunity there. We would play every 3 months or something, and we would just promote it that way. And I think we did a couple of acoustic things, but yeah, I mean, we basically created our own opportunity there. So, and those were good times, man.
Oh yeah, they were really fun. It was like, I mean, once COVID hit, from COVID to like 2021 was like the most time we haven't played a gig. So like anything was nice. An acoustic gig at like his record store or like some bar. It was just nice to go out and play live music again, You could probably test that as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The road warrior.
That's right. I love playing shows, man. I love playing shows. I leave tomorrow to play some more shows.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man.
Let's shake hands on that.
I'm stoked for you, man. Yeah. You've been killing the game for real, man.
For real.
I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad that we met. Atticus and I just met on Instagram. I think you just.
I heard. That's what the little birdie told me. Yeah.
So let me just tell you, all of my special friends, my people close to my heart. Listen, post pandemic, like all have been through that. Like, and that's the only way I really was able to meet a lot of people at that point. So
right.
Yeah, like when we first made Gimme Love, somebody had told me about your music before the pandemic. And her name's Anna, and she was telling me about your music, and I obviously loved it because I can hear the 60s, the 70s in it. And then I remember we just started sending each other live videos of Dylan. So that was a good time, man.
Yeah, that's cool that you were able to hear I feel like we do have a similar influence. I'm interested though, hearing what the music y'all were making before this, because I've also got a side of me that loves, like the music I'm making right now is very 60s. Rock, but I love all types of stuff. Like I've been listening to a lot of like SoundCloud rap lately, and I'm just like, I'm just like trying to figure out how to.
Matthew,
I don't know.
Nordista opened up for Fetty Wap.
Oh, for real?
I'm not even kidding.
That's pretty tight.
I'm so jealous.
That was the most wild.
My
thing
Instagram bio is a Fetty Wap lyric.
So. Yeah, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of like a. Yeah. Anyway, it's not that important.
The disappointing part is that Fetty Wap never showed up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah, it was in Dahlonega, which I'm sure I would assume are familiar with.
Yeah.
North.
Did you go to UNG?
Yeah, we played at UNG, and Fetty Wap never showed up, and there was like
that's-
3,000 people there to see Fetty
Oh
Wap.
my god.
Oh
So
no.
you got to play.
Well, so they went out and told the crowd, and like 2,500 people left, but there was like 500 people who were just like, "We are here for a concert." And so when we went out, the people who were still around were like stoked, and we just played like the craziest
awesome.
set we could.
That's
And,
awesome, dude.
Yeah, and we got to eat like all of Fetty Wap's food and go into his green room. That was pretty fun. He had
Bro, I
like
bet
so
he ate
much
like a
food.
king.
That's such a legendary quote. We had to eat all of Fetty Wap's food.
Okay,
Like-
so they allowed us to like have a rider, which is still something I pretty rarely get a rider. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
same.
like I put like blueberries and like chips and salsa and like coffee. And then they were like, y'all can eat Fetty Wap's food like from his rider. So we went into his green room and it was like Popeye's chicken, pizza, and like chocolate cake. I was like, dude, this guy is just like partying. This is how does he
He's just
sustain
living the
himself?
life.
He's
Yeah.
He's living it up.
He's giving all his regard to the current moment, bro.
Totally. I
That's
was like,
so
man,
funny.
what a meal to eat right before you go on stage. Just be like
That's
totally
crazy.
loaded.
I mean, he's got to hit a different. He's got to hit a different side of himself when he gets on that stage. Like,
That's so funny.
I
dude.
mean, maybe won't you come his way? I guess so.
Dude, he's invincible. I thought he was gonna go to jail. He just got busted for like pushing all these drugs. Like he got a really heavy charge, but he's just like making
Really?
another record right now. So
Well, when you
Dang.
posted about it, I definitely thought he was not around. Like, so I was like, what is going on with Fetty, bro? That's so funny, man. But to the question you were talking about, like our influence before, I mean, so like when we first started, like way first, I would say one thing that helped us a lot is we live in Woodstock, so like 30 minutes north of Atlanta.
oh, cool. Yeah.
And there's this little place called Mad Life, and they would do this undiscovered artist showcase every Wednesday. And that's kind of where we started, but the kicker is like you had to have an original, you could only play original material. So
Cool.
like we had to write a song. Like I remember I wrote a song the night before to play it. It was me, Luke, and then a girl named Auburn at the time who was playing bass. And like I would write it the night before and then play it. And then like the next week I'd have to write it again, write a new one because it was the same judges the week after. So it was just great to
Whoa.
like, it was great to have to write songs at that point to play. It was like we could not play unless we wrote. So from a really early stage, like we were always writers. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's a really cool model, and I think it's helped a lot of people in the area for sure. But so we went like I don't even remember at that point. It was like some just kids bop basically, and then we went from that to like to I was into like punk pop. Everybody goes through that, and then that kind of was short lived. And then I mean I remember hearing the 1975 second record, and I that floored me. Like I think it's I Like It When You Sleep. That whole record. I mean,
Yeah.
still to this day, I don't know a better alt pop record than that for me personally. Like that thing is just so like lyrically great, and it's sonically really interesting, and it's obviously driven from the 80s, but it's so sparkly and shimmery, and yeah, it's just perfect. So basically when we created Aqua Shape, it was basically a cover album of like a cover band of that album. So we just like wanted to make songs that sounded like that.
And Laney.
Yeah, Laney's debut
Debut
album was a big one. Yeah. But like that was right
Totally.
when we were doing that was like right when Coin was hitting it, right when Joan was hitting it. So it was like if you were gonna do it, that was
Right.
the time to do that sound, you know, like
Totally.
and so we were just a little late, a little young to it. And but I mean the songs are on
Dude.
Spotify. Like, I mean, they're fine. I mean, I think they're well written
me up.
songs. Matt,
Hey!
yes, the team.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, they're great, man.
Yeah,
Bro,
they are.
there's this little concert. I can't remember when it was. I think it was like 2013. I kid you not. It was this little tiny festival, St. Patty's Fest or something. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I think it was like 2013. And it was in a field. I mean, it probably held like maybe 800 people, but the list of people was like Declan McKenna, Coin, Judah and the Lion, and the Strumbellas, like all like in a row.
Whoa.
Like, and it could not have been more than 800 to 1,000 people being able to sit there. So it was like
That's
crazy.
crazy.
It was nuts. Like Declan McKenna was like 16 at the time or something. Or
Oh
15
I
my
remember
or something.
that.
gosh.
Crazy.
So that was nuts. And we were there, but like I didn't know it. So we were just sitting across the street eating food, like had no clue that was going on.
Dude.
But I found that out later, man. But yeah, Coin's great. But but especially Coin's first stuff, like Talk Too Much, we were really into, and all of that. Like, so, but I guess like we made one record like that, and even the songs on that are really differing. But even then, there's still some of my rock influence that comes through, like more classic, straightforward. But then, I mean, on the second EP, it was more. I mean, I really only wrote one EP of that stuff. It was really just more show that was a phase than it was something that I wanted to do full on.
Totally.
And I might, we've talked. I mean, we could revisit that stuff and try something with it. But
yeah,
I mean, it started getting different after the second EP. Then obviously the Corduroy Blue was born. So then we just kind of went with the whole, kind of Queen, Elton John, Beatle-y thing.
Yeah, so. Right. Yeah. What are you guys gonna plan on doing? Like, since it's kind of still the new year, do you have any particular goals? And obviously putting out a full length album, you're saying is like, are you guys gonna be like playing a lot, and any other schemes or dreams?
Luke, what are our schemes, our plans, Luke?
I don't know. You know better than me. I know debut album is definitely one of our goals for this year.
You say Atticus knows better than you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Dude, Luke will show up. Dude, Luke, I'll drive.
Oh, yeah, the show with Teddy.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. You know who Teddy at Night is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's coming down in a couple weeks, and we're gonna play with him.
Dude, what?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be, dude. Nordice, it's me, Soup Kink, Teddy at Night, and Motherly Jet all together. It'll be great.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, I know Motherly Jet too. That cat. I worked on a tour with him, like behind the scenes. Like,
yeah,
he was doing guitar tech or something, and I was helping sell merch for like Christian.
Was it?
Oh, that's cool.
Was it for King and Country? I think
it was for King and Country.
Bro,
no way.
Bro, it's no lie. I went through a huge for King and Country phase. I think when I was like, right when I turned 18, and I have a tattoo on the left side I have it on my ribs. It's a for King and Country song title, "Ceasefire," baby.
No way, dude.
That's on the left side of my rib. Now
what?
I'm like, now I'm just like, it's just like,
the lead singer of the Corduroy Blue has a for King and Country tattoo on his fucking side.
Bro, hey, that is a perfect storm, bro.
Wow.
I know.
That's really interesting, man. Yeah. So I never listened to For King and Country, but a band similarly, and I'm interested because y'all are from North Georgia. Yeah. You guys know about Family Force 5?
Of course we do, man.
Watch
That's a classic.
But
bro, you don't go to youth group in North Georgia and not hear about FF5.
Yeah.
Dude, that band is the band that got me into music. But like, that was the first band that I ever heard that I was like, I want to make music. Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
That's so interesting.
Totally. I can't believe y'all know about that.
Dude, we're like, that's where we grew up. That's where we figured out how to play music, was the church community, man.
Yeah,
totally.
That's where we started. So that's where we learned to play with clicks. That's where we learned to play with other people.
We don't play with clicks anymore, but that's how we started.
Yeah. I mean, we play with clicks in the stew, but not out loud. Not out live, But
right.
Yeah, I mean, what other? I mean, yeah, for King Country was a big one. I mean, all of them, man. I mean, but they were a big one. They used to play. I mean, there's the big church over there is First Baptist Woodstock. I mean, they used to do their Christmas jamboree out there, man. It was nuts. That was no joke. Like they had all the floor toms and everything. They were going in.
That was a tour I did. I was like working on for 1 week. Was on their Christmas tour with Lauren Daigle.
Yes.
Yes. I remember that very well.
Yeah, man.
I can't believe that.
Bro, I mean, we were really close.
That's awesome.
We were really close at, like, when we first started making music, it was like, do we go the Christian route, or like, the Christian music route, or do we go like more of the stuff that I was really into? And we ended up the secular world, as they call it.
Right.
And so, I mean, we just chose the music that I, like the kind of 70s, 60s stuff. But I mean, obviously there's still such a nostalgic feeling for it all.
Totally.
But yeah, anyways, yeah. So I have that on the side of my body now, which is really funny. But
that is so cool. That's cool. She said you were talking about things you wanted to do this year, and you're playing a show with Teddy at Night and Motherly Jet. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah. So that's one we've got coming up in a couple weeks, and we're going to Athens and playing with Easy Honey, and then
nice.
So that'll be cool. And then I mean, we want to put out the record. Hopefully, I'm thinking like tentatively like November or something like that. Get it right around awards season, But I'm kidding. Okay. But Yeah, so we want to do that. Want to make the record, and then just, I mean, we just want to play a bunch of shows. Like, I mean, that stuff we did with Arlie was great. You know, I am definitely joking about award season, bro.
Hey, come on. Don't count him out. Don't count him
I'm
out.
gonna go on his search history and be like, how to submit for Grammys.
It's gonna look like.
I swear to God, no, Jason, I'll send you a screenshot of Atticus' screen history, and it'll be like, how to get Grammys, Grammy.com, how to contact Grammys. I swear.
Is it called Grammy?
Yeah.
Go to
He's gonna call his grandma on his contacts Grammy.
go to Grammy's house. Like, oh Jesus, bro. Oh, that's good. But,
Hey, y'all are ambitious though, for real. I mean,
yeah, man.
I
We're
know
trying.
I know you're aiming for a Grammy one day, right?
Hey, bro, if you're not
Yeah.
aiming for the Grammy, where are you going? That's my life motto.
That's true.
That's where
That's
we're, yeah,
true.
man.
It
For
says
sure,
in
I
your
mean, we're
bio
definitely-
right here. It says
Aiming for the Grammy.
sights set far beyond hometown hero.
AKA, we just have to put set sight for Grammy.
Hmm.
That's we don't want anything except for a Grammy. Once we get a Grammy, I'm retiring. But anyways, we've talked about the Grammys for way too long. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we want to make a record. What else do we want to do? Matthew's moving to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Sad but happy, bittersweet moment.
Dude,
Yeah.
But we're really excited for Matthew. We're really stoked for him. He's got a new job with an unnamed redacted right now. And but we're stoked for him, man. We're really excited to see where he goes.
redacted
Redacted right now. But we love him,
TikTok.
man.
It's a TikToker.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, we brought him in on this. We were already gonna meet tonight, but I mean, Matthew really has been like the third member of the group. I mean, like, you know, because you know, like today's music is so visual. Like, you have to have visuals. You have to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way we connect with people. And I mean, it's cool too. It's not like we hired him after we already started going. Like, I mean, he was there with us from the beginning. Like, before we released our first single, he was there. So, you know, like he's been the entire visual for everything, whether it's photos, videos, live stuff. I mean, so Matthew's irreplaceable. So he's the
Matthew,
man.
that's super cool.
Yeah, Matthew's
Yeah.
dope.
Thank you.
Matthew, wait, where are you moving to?
San Francisco.
Wow, what takes you? This specific gig is taking you out there. You're just gonna take this lead and move.
Yeah, I have a job opportunity there. Well, like I've already accepted it. So yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I've played in San Francisco once. It's obviously very beautiful.
Yeah.
That'd be a wild move.
I know. I grew up in Georgia. I was born in Georgia, and I've never lived anywhere but Georgia. And now I'm moving literally as far as you can go inside the United States. So
All right.
it'll be exciting, but I'll definitely miss these guys. And we've already been talking about how I can still creative direct from virtual. So
Right.
I'll still be okay. Yeah.
And we're also going to try and get our kicks in while he's here. That's another thing
Yeah.
too. Like, you know, that's a big thing for this year, is just like kind of stocking up. Like, you know, if he's going to be, you know, out west, and, you know, just trying to get everything ready for that debut record. So like when it comes out, like, I mean, we're kind of hitting the ground running, you know, and we're
Right.
working with Collective Soul, the 90s group. That's kind of who we've been, who helped. They did that song Shine. You can look it up.
Right.
It was kind of a hit, but they've been great. They're kind of the ones at the helm of our recordings, and they've made it possible for us to make the record. So, you know, every song we've done, we've worked with them.
Wow,
and they're
that's super
guys.
cool.
Yeah, they're great guys, and they believe in it, you know. So they're gonna kind of take this at the helm, and, you know, they've got a lot of great people we can be in contact with to help the album kind of, you know, basically. I kind of always told Luke, like, it's not like we need to hit a certain level. It's just, for me, like, before we release an album, I want, you know, like in the course of rock, like, albums are a big deal. No matter how small or big you are, like, that's a statement that you're making.
Right.
So you want that to fall on some ears, you know. So, you know, I really want to make sure that there's some people that are around to hear it when we do it. So
Absolutely.
It definitely seems like y'all have a very intelligent approach to everything. Like you're approaching it from a very, like, a bird's eye view almost, you know, thinking about visuals
Big
and just
picture,
really
yeah.
planning and big picture. Yeah. Is there y'all come from a family or in the music industry, or how do you feel like you were able to learn so much about how all of that works? Because I mean, that's very receptive
Totally.
and interesting that y'all are so aware of all of
Well-
those, like, macro and micro changes in the industry.
yeah,
We appreciate that.
thank you, Sir Freeze. That's very kind of
Sir Northeaster.
Sir
that's even your name.
Chili. But look, to talk about that? I mean, I know we don't come from a musical family, but
We
do
definitely
you know?
do. We don't come from a musical family. Me and Agus are the first of our family to have any musical talent. My mom and dad, don't tell them to sing, please don't.
No,
But
no bueno.
I don't know where that really comes from. I think it's just a lot of like research, honestly. Like we really do put in our whole, I don't even know what the word I'm trying to use, but we put a lot of research and homework into like reaching out to people and knowing what's best and actually logically like planning the visuals and our posts and our gigs and when we release songs. Like it's all very strategized, if you will.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
guess that's just honestly our work ethic and because we love doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I would say too, I think obviously to our parents don't have any musical ability whatsoever, but our dad is an entrepreneur. Like he owns businesses, he owns restaurants around here. And I think growing up in the business world, like the entrepreneurial world, I think he subconsciously helped us a lot with just, I mean, the idea of like, if you want something, if you want to own it, like, you know, you got to work for it. And,
Right.
you know, I mean, we saw that at an early age. I mean, he worked, you know, all sorts of hours to, you know, to make that work. So, you know, I think it kind of comes with like, you know, you're going to have to work harder than people and you're going to have to do it at times you don't want to do it. And there's going to be some stuff that you're going to have to research that's not playing live. I mean, you know, how many times like, you know, we've had people that have played with us and just people in general, like they love the playing live aspect, but there's a lot of other parts to being in a band and running a brand and being an artist. I mean,
Yeah.
you know that.
That's true.
You,
Yeah.
it's almost like I almost consider it like it's like an iceberg. Like you do like in an iceberg, like 90% of it's underwater. You do all this homework, you do all this like connection, you do all this research, and you do all this like, you know, recording just so you can do that 10% of like playing shows, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's why we do
Right.
it, because we love playing shows that much, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Do you
Yeah.
feel like pursuing a kind of more of a retro archetype, like let's say since y'all are influenced by 70s rock, but also have an awareness of the ways that the music industry is changing,
Sure.
how do you pursue both? Because it's like, you know, like for instance, the fact that you are wanting to make an album versus like a lot of bands might be pushing more towards singles, I'm assuming that comes from like a retro vibe that
Sure.
you're trying to pursue with the music. So how can you do both at the same time?
And you have both. No, yeah. Listen, that I had that. That was totally the question that I posed, like to myself, like, because you're exactly right. That's such a nowadays. That's such a like a dichotomy to want it.
You're trying to be with the times, but also your music says otherwise, and it's trying to go back in time, you know?
Yeah, I think
Right.
really what you're saying. I think I think for us it was. I think that first of all, there's such a reason. There's definitely a reason that people are going back in time to hear that music. There's something to it, you know. There's something that they're getting from that they're not getting today. It's kind of
Right.
how I viewed it. And you know, you might never be able to take the place of some of those tunes, but like there's a specific nostalgicness to the sound. I mean, you hear it all the time. I mean, there's so many bands. I mean, I know you love them because I've seen the playlist, but like the Lemon Twigs are a great example. Like of a
Yeah.
band, dude. I fucks heavy with the Lemon Twigs, but they're interesting because they kind of seem to brand retro as well. Whereas like with us, I mean, I'm really into the modern production. I'm into the way that I mean, you know, me and Matthew, that's kind of where we connect. Is like we're very about what even artists that we're not into, like whether it's you know certain pop artists or hip hop, like we follow them just to see what they're doing visually.
Right.
Because I think that that's obviously what is we kind of want the visuals to kind of get us in the door and the kind of 70s retro sound to kind of keep us there. You know, because otherwise it's going to be kind of hard to reach an audience with an outdated method of message, right? So, you know, for us it was just, yeah. So, but it's such a hard balance, like you're saying. That's still something that we're working through. But I don't think that it's not doable. And I think for us, I think it's very obvious that we're making music that's true to us, and I think that passion is contagious too. Like when somebody's
Right.
doing, I mean, that's what I feel with you. I tell people all the time, like, you know, what you're doing for indie music and independent artists is really special, especially in the rock world. Like, you know, and it's very obvious that you're passionate about doing it that way, and it makes people want to listen to what you do.
Dude, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely,
I
dude.
appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, I mean, not trying to get, you know, sappy, but it's true. And so, for us, you know, it's just about finding that balance of, you know, a retro sound with a modern message to deliver it, you know.
It's also very genuine though, because I think that a lot of people can like I think with like record players coming back and like he said, people really are looking towards the past. I think that like the way music is going, like music is kind of cyclical, like a lot of other art forms.
Sure.
Like there's things that are popular and then they sort of go out and sort of come back in. But so I think it's very genuine in the sense to where like this is the music. Like I know that they talk about the pop music that the phases that they went in on, but you guys grew up on the Beatles and you grew up on these like classic rock sort of like people. So I feel like it's almost like coming back to that, but then also almost like you did also like these other modern bands and stuff like that. So it isn't this sort of like artificially created thing too. It is very genuine and very just like, well, why can't I have the best of both worlds? Like who's stopping me, you know?
That's a good point. He brings up a good point like that. Like it wasn't like the two separate parts of my life. Like it's almost like why he's exactly right. Like to me, you know, the way that I consume modern media has always been just a part of my life is listening to old school music has been. It's the same way that you can, you know, eat this meal, but also enjoy this meal. And they're not fighting, you know, they're not contradicting each other. You can enjoy them separately, but they're all coming to like, you know, do something of benefit to you. So he's exactly right like that. I think you're exactly right. Like, and I even heard this one YouTuber once, I don't remember. I think I was at Soup King's house and they were listening to this guy, but he was basically like talking about how like it's almost weird that there's not, especially within kind of rock culture, like there's not, it seems like culture came to a standstill where we're not like creating new culture, we're just rehashing old culture. And I think that comes from using the same messages that were done before. So I think if you combine like what Matt's saying, have the best of both worlds, you can actually look at like advancing culture a little bit. So
right, yeah. And like with social media is the main difference. I feel like streaming plus social media, TikTok being the greatest like innovations and like adaptations you have to like culminate alongside whatever type of influence you have or whatever type of music you're making. There's definitely an appetite for it. You're right. And maybe now more than ever, it's interesting what Matthew says about how it's cyclical. That definitely is true. I mean, you can, I don't know if it's like 20 to 25 years. It feels like something that was out of touch is all of a sudden is back. You know what I mean? Like right now, even is like early 2000s to 90s is like very popular aesthetic and stuff. So everything comes and goes in weird waves. Do you guys feel like you know, it sounds like Atlanta has been a big influence on y'all, but with Matthew moving to the West Coast, like what do you two brothers think about like other cities or other places? Have you had does that intrigue you at all? Do you kind of like the idea of claiming your hometown and representing it and staying there to kind of help that community?
Sure, yeah. Well, Luke, what do you think about that?
That's a good question. I think long term, I would love to reach out to more cities with our music. I mean, that's kind of the end goal is to like just spread our music to as many people to be like, if we're just gonna like keep it simple. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really think I've asked myself whether or not we'd be willing to like make home base in another city.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I'm open-minded to everything. As of right now, we do have a really cool thing going for us in Atlanta, as far as our connections and even people like close to Atlanta, like for instance, like Nashville and stuff. Like it's a good little hub that's close to other cities as well. So, but yeah, I would definitely be open-minded to, you know.
Yeah. I think he's exactly right. Like, well, first of all, me and him are going to go together wherever we go. So it's like, you know, we have to kind of agree on that. Like, you know, I mean, we're actually born in New York, the two of us. So we're born in New York. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we came down here, but a lot of family and a lot of, you know, a part of our home is up there. So, I mean, like we've always talked about that. Like, you know, if there's a, you know, lucky break here, we're able to go on tour there, or have enough money to do this. I mean, we'd love to go up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the meantime, I think you're exactly right. Like, so obviously we all know that Athens has a great music scene. But I think that the city of Atlanta itself is suffering a little bit. Like, I don't think we have like the city itself. We've got some bands, but I think that not the scene that Athens has. And so, you know, I just think like it's been fun. Like, you know, I keep bringing up Soup King, but we're all best friends with them. And I think that the kind of duo of like always playing with them has kind of created like, I mean, you know how that is. It can kind of create a tight knit community where bands want to be a part of that, you know, where it's like, you know, you get these 8 guys that are like wild and have fun. And I mean, all together, it's like people want to be a part of that. So I feel like slowly we've kind of been getting, you know, more bands and more acts that are coming up saying like, yo, these guys are doing it. Let's do it too. And it's on a small scale, but you know, so that's been really fun in the meantime. But I'd agree with Luke. I mean, I think we want everybody to hear the music, and I think we want to get out a little bit, explore, travel a little bit. So definitely not tied down to the ATL, but it's always going to be our home roots and kind of where our music will always kind of have a special place. So.
Yeah, totally. It gets harder too, like to leave once. I don't know, like I don't know if I plan on living in Nashville forever, but the longer I'm here, the more I'm well connected here and I feel purposeful here. So it's
Sure.
Yeah.
like I enjoy touring a lot and visiting other places, but at the end of the day, I feel like my greatest impact and purpose is here. So it's kind of a weird catch-22 where it's hard to ever distance myself from that. I feel like if I did, I would be doing it just to do it, which isn't a bad reason, but
No, sure.
it's
but
like
it's not
I
your
love my
reason.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And also, like, this is a selfish reason, but like I definitely associate you with Nash, like for sure. I think you do a lot for the city and music, and which is just how it is. So obviously
Yeah.
you go where you want, but no pressure. But I'm just saying, like, as somebody like looking in, I'm like, damn, he does great things for Nashville. So
Yeah. I appreciate that. I definitely like the Southeast a lot. I think that there's so many markets and like, or cities, however you want to say it, a lot of college towns. It kind of goes under the radar, like especially the Carolinas and even in Georgia, we play like Savannah a lot and we play Macon and Atlanta and Athens. And it's interesting what you say about Atlanta because we actually like struggle way worse in Atlanta. Like our shows in Athens are always more full than Atlanta, but we've been playing Atlanta way longer. I've been trying to build a fan base in Atlanta since 2016, but it's just like
it's tough.
It can feel like I'm endlessly just like throwing myself at the wall. That we just played at the Earl, and that was like the best show we've ever had. It was definitely the first it was a very encouraging step to like play that show.
Yeah, you're like, damn, people are showing out. Like, I mean, that's kind of why we want to do other things. I mean, because we've kind of got, we've been here our whole life. So, I mean, but even then, like I'm saying is like, I've been doing music since my sophomore year of high school and everybody knows. And,
wow.
And I mean, we live here. And so like, people still are only coming in like, and we headlined the real first show we ever headlined with, we did a co-headliner a few times, but our first true headliner, I mean, like I said, we've been doing music here almost 6 years and we finally got like, a number, like above 80, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So we were stoked about that. I was like, oh yeah, we're in triple digits, baby. But it's just like that took us so long. So it's weird, man, out here. I think it's a lot of it seems like it's a very busy market online. Like you see like everybody's making music and everybody's putting stuff out, all genres. So it's very interesting. But I think it looks like it's on the way up from the looks of things. That's I'm getting it too.
That's cool. That's pretty encouraging. Whoa.
Yeah,
I don't know. It
I think so.
just fell from the sky. Do y'all have like a dream? What's like a dream venue? It could be whether it's a theater or just like a attainable, like one you want to try to play in the next couple of years. What's just like a spot that you always picture yourself playing?
Luke said Pluto. Said the sun. Matthew said the sun. And then I'll say
Sydney Opera House.
Sydney Opera House, Matthew? You want to just perform solo with your banjo?
I just want to do the Wonderman.
He wants to do Wonderman by himself.
I remember Seven Nation Army on the bass in the Sydney Opera House.
No.
Where do you?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, being from New York, like anything like in New York would be like, I mean, we talk about that, like Radio City or,
Have you
MSG,
played New York?
obviously. No, we've never played in New York. So, I mean, we, like
Somewhere with history would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think like for me, Radio City Music Hall would be great. Like, I think that would be, I would definitely shed some tears there. Cause I mean, like that's our home like that's where we were born. That's where a lot of our family was. We went up there a lot. So, we've never really played outside of the Southeast. So, doing anything like that would mean a lot to us. And I mean, as far as, Atlanta goes, the Bucket Theater would be really cool. I mean, I've seen some of my favorite artists there. I mean, saw Laney there in their first tour. We saw Stromae. He's a French artist. He's fantastic.
What's that place called?
Bucket Theater.
That's cool.
See some awesome bands there. So that would be really cool. But I mean, Radio City Music Hall would have me sobbing.
Yeah, that would be
lies.
Incredible.
I'd be a baby, an inconsolable child.
Someone coddle me.
Yeah. Luke, how about you for real talk?
No, I mean, I don't know the names of many venues, but definitely in New York City would be a dream. And also somewhere out west would be really cool for me too. Like to play somewhere where we got a full show in like a completely different side of like side of the country would be really cool. And then,
the Troubadour. I would love to play the Troubadour out in California. Like, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw Rocket Man, the movie, but I mean, like, there's that scene where he was playing Crocodile Rock at the Troubadour. I mean, that he really did that. Like, he went out and like stood and just like jumped and like got that photo of him just playing the piano with his hands up and his feet off. Like, he really did that. So I don't know. It's just like, just for Elton John alone, I'd want to play at the Troubadour. Yeah. I mean, I'd say, he's one of our biggest influences for sure. I always tell people our band's like if Elton John grabbed the guitar more often. That's like how I would describe Corduroy Blue.
Wow, that's really interesting. Actually, I don't think that there are a lot of bands that cite Elton as a central influence. I mean, there are a lot of people. Obviously, has a wide appeal, a mass appeal, but like, how many bands do I know that actually are like, yeah, Elton is our guy? That's actually a pretty special influence, despite how popular he is.
I agree with that actually. Yeah, well said.
He's huge for me. Matthew, what would you say influence-wise?
I mean, I think I see like Elton John, Paul McCartney, and Freddie Mercury. I think the thing is, I think a lot of people cite Elton John for his fashion more than they do his music.
Like his icon status, as opposed to
like, obviously, I'm in no way claiming that Elton John is underrated, but I actually think that sometimes his melodies and stuff are or his like, because he's such this big in your face fashion sort of like superstar, I think he like sometimes that like overshadows how good of like a melody writer he was.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
Me and Matthew have just geeked out all the time about his B-sides. I mean, like, there are some unbelievable tracks of his. I mean, you just really go in. Nobody really knows about. Like, we all know the 10, 20 central songs, but there's dozens more that are unbelievable. So yeah, right. I mean, it's definitely weird. Yeah, that we would definitely have some of him. I mean, and he's right. McCartney is the reason I picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
For so many, that's like everybody's story, but
And I think the Police a lot, because like the Police, I think being like a small group, because they were a trio, and you guys are obviously like you guys are a trio, so I think you guys pull off from that, and also like some of your guys' songs like you've written like more with like a little bit of reggae influence, similar to like how the Police was.
Yeah, sure, agreed.
So I feel like I see that, and then like some of your music too.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think he's right too,
cool.
because it's not just like we're a trio because we had to be. I really think we've embodied the trio sound. I mean, we love the trio sound, and like we've talked about it on tour. Like, obviously, yeah, you can get some more sounds in there, but we just love the 3-piece for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's right. Like, a lot of our stuff when we go reggae sounds a lot like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
we've always been a trio since we've started. And we've done like 1 or 2 shows before, and it's, I don't know. And it's, yeah, sure, it sounds full, but it's just not the way I've envisioned it, and that might change, like down the line.
Interesting. So you feel like compositionally and performance-wise, y'all are a trio, even though aesthetically you're a duo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So live, we're definitely a trio, but yeah, then that was something too we talked about. Like when we were in Aqua Shade, that was always a trio. Like, didn't matter. We had a girl in it at one point, and then we had a guy in it. And it was always a trio. And at a certain point, like, I don't know, I think we just felt like me and Luke were the ones that were, it felt like me and Luke were the irreplaceable ones. Like, it's like wherever me and him went was where the band went. And when COVID happened and we were together, we're brothers, we're staying in the same place. Like,
Right.
we kind of came to a point like, hey, let's have a band meeting. And like, we were just like sitting like, down in the kitchen and like talking like, and I was like, I think it's just got to be you and me. Like, we'll hire a bass player live, and he'll add a huge part live. So whoever that is matters. But basically, we didn't want to put any pressure on anybody, especially coming out of COVID, like, because nobody really knew what they wanted to do,
Right.
or where they were going. So we didn't want to put any pressure and be like, yo, you're going to be our bass player, even though we just started a new brand. I have no clue how it's going to go, but, talk to you later.
Right.
We didn't want to do that to anybody. So we just were like sending out some feelers, being like, would you want to try and play bass a few times? And we've kind of landed on 2 guys. We really use 2 different guys, and we switch off between the 2. One of them, Zach Butler, he makes some solo music, and then the other guy is Andy from Soup Cake, and we just switch between them. And because we love them both, they both bring something different to the table. But so yeah, the sound, live sonically, it's always been a trio. But yeah, just aesthetically, me and Matthew and Luke kind of always talked like. We just always felt like it felt better as a duo aesthetically. And so, and in the studio too, we're always a duo. Like, I play the bass the studio.
And for the image side of things, every time we'd have like a third person in, whether it was a band member or somebody else that was in the shoot, it's just you and your brother are so close. You have such like natural chemistry. It always feels off whenever there's someone else there, and that could change.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like that chemistry, when you do have a group where there's somebody like brothers that can actually get along, or even if they don't, like I mean with Oasis,
I was just about to say Oasis.
those guys fucking hated each other. But like even when
Right.
you look at the photos of them, like there's just this undeniable like chemistry is sometimes tension and friction that I think is created from like a visual standpoint that is like you can't like you can't fake that. Like it just feels, I don't know, if there's something that feels like real and like textured about it. That's what I like about like photographing just you two a lot of times.
Totally. And I'd like he brought up Oasis because Oasis is like a 4 or 5 piece, but nobody thinks about anything else but the Gallagher brothers unless you're a hardcore fan. So
Totally,
you know,
totally.
it's kind of like that. I mean, Oasis has kind of always been branded as a duo, even though they're not. You know, so
Yeah,
that's a good influence. Society.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Matthew, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you feel like a lot of your visual influence just comes nowadays from like social media and stuff, or do you feel like it comes from more of like a film influence, or like is it like magazines? Like how do you find inspiration visually?
Yeah, man.
Luke's
Pinterest.
It's just bad.
Don't knock on Pinterest though.
No, Pinterest has saved us so many times.
So I
That's
started
real.
when I first entered college, I studied like film and media. So definitely like early on, it was like a lot of films inspired my like image making. But I am a very like physical media person. So I own a lot of physical photo books. So I have this really cool book. It was like one of the first physical photo books I ever got that's called Who Shot Rock and Roll. And it's got like literally just all these like rock and roll photographers, everyone from like Mick Rock.
Whoa.
That's
cool.
It's super
It's a
cool.
nuts
And
book.
then
I gotta write
and it's just like a big it's called Who Shot Rock and Roll. But I mean I have that, and then from there I was like there's just something so cool about like a physical photo and like, you know, being able to actually physically look at something. So I got that book, and then now I have like this whole collection that I've gotten. I mean, I have a David Bowie book.
Lady Gaga book was hard.
Yeah, I've got this Terry Richardson Lady Gaga book that's like, so it's pretty cool. And then also like I took a photo class in college with a guy named Joshua Greer, who's like a really fantastic photographer. He has a like a permanent installation at the High Museum in Atlanta, like really awesome photographer. And he was taking his class was like, before that, you know, you can kind of learn everything about a camera by yourself. But he was the first person that taught me how to like look at images in a different way and be like, look at like what somebody was thinking about when they started taking images. So honestly, it was like learning from him and just like how to dissect images and be like, oh, like what was the motivations behind these? I think that helped me like look at images differently. But yeah, I like looking at physical photo books. But I do like getting inspired by like other things. Like I tell him all the time, like, honestly, I don't love to make like really tight mood boards, like as in go into it with these really tight visual ideas, because I like to let the spew of the moment or like the song. I think that like I say that like good art isn't bound by a single medium. So like the song, if he writes a song, like I don't want to be distracted by this cool visual I saw on Instagram yesterday. I want to hear the song and like feel what colors come to mind, or what kind of movement the song represents. If the song is like has like a nice groove, then maybe I want them to like dance in the photos and like that to come across. Or if the song is like, you know, so I try and let like the art itself like dictate the image making. And that's like the long answer. The short answer is photo books. I do like follow people on Instagram, and I obviously look at that, but like I'd rather go to a gallery or like go look at something in physical. And also the interesting thing is it could be something not even related to like you or like a person in general. So it's kind of just anything and everything. I think just opening up your mind and you know, ingesting a lot of art, films and everything just like helps you become better at whatever art you do.
Yeah. And I would say too, Matthew is also a master at, like, I'll give him something and most people would just take that and go, okay, and then make something somewhat similar to it. But I mean, even the other day, I sent Matthew an idea for a shirt that we wanted for Wonderman, and I mean, it came out. It always comes out with something not only better than what I imagined it would be, but also something I had never seen coming. Like it's a new piece of art. You know, that's what I think he's great at. Is like not just doing what somebody else did in a different way. It's like completely doing his own thing.
Wow,
And I
yeah.
think that, and I think that that's really difficult to do these days with all the copies of things that we're getting in art, whether it's visual or whether it's, especially if it's sonically. I mean, a lot of things sound the same these days. So I feel like that's also why this partnership, we all work together so well. As I think Matthew's doing something unique, and I think we feel like we're doing something unique. I mean, I think
Yeah.
taking some of those melodies and mixing them with modern production and having all sorts of influences, I think there's just a lot of genuineness and passion from the partnership that I think shows itself in the way that we market, the way that we run our brand.
Yeah. Very well put. That's cool. What an exciting collaboration. Matthew, what's your Instagram, man? I got to follow you. I got to keep up.
You gotta keep up with the boy, man.
It's Matthew_Fain. So MATTHEW_FAIN.
His Tumblr is heat.
Is that true?
No, dude, I wish. I wish I had this like
you should have that
obscure Tumblr
dirty
blog
little
floating
secret.
out there.
dirty little secret. Oh
That's
my
amazing.
God, yeah.
Oh wow, look at this Wonderman pre-save. Wow, look at
Look at that.
Luke. Luke is looking sexy. Look at his
I know,
hair.
he
man.
is something.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Atticus, you're looking great too. I just hadn't seen these
No,
curls.
but Luke.
I hadn't seen these curls all the way out like this, man. Oh my gosh.
Batista, stop it.
Luke is,
Well,
Luke is simply
That's
something
great.
different with it.
Pre-save
Yeah.
now. Pre-save now.
Or,
Well,
or later, but definitely now.
We've reached the end of our hour, and that's probably a good note to end on, is pre-saving this new song.
Pre-saving.
And while we got Instagram out for everyone listening who's not already following y'all,
I'm
Yeah.
following you.
where can
We're
they follow?
following each other.
Y'all are following the
I
corduroy blue.
found you.
Yes, the corduroy blue. The corduroy blue, and then Luke Ronas, Atticus Ronas.
Oh my gosh, your hair's so long, Nordista.
I know, he's
Luke.
stalking you.
I know, right?
Nordista, you are a sexy mofo.
Is this Luke Pierre Ronis?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke Pierre Ronas. I'm also a model and an actor as well, so that's
Oh,
also
okay,
my.
cool.
Well, I'm also just like, I thought we were saying what we're passionate about, huh?
That's true, dude. Wow.
Luke used to be Lukey Pookie 2.0 for the longest time.
Wait,
I didn't
even get a chance to talk about fitness. We'll have to say that for the next episode. I want to talk
Yeah,
to Luke
hell
about
yeah.
his workout routine. This is amazing. Wow, he's got
I'm
muscles.
an avid workout fitness person.
I'll bow out of that one respectfully. But
That's
eat your
cool.
veg.
I've been trying. I try to work out a little bit, and I swim. I try to swim a bunch too.
Oh, swimming's great for you, dude. It's one of the best forms of cardio.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Speaking of swimming, you can swim to the link in our bio and pre-save.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, yeah, be cool with it. Do some breaststroke.
Wow, I
Don't
got to.
sprint freestyle.
I just followed y'all's band. I thought I was following y'all's band. I guess I was just following Atticus this whole time.
It's basically the same thing these days.
Atticus is such a rep. Okay, cool. Anywhere else? TikTok or Twitter? Anything else y'all
We have
use?
TikTok. Luke runs our TikTok. I'll just tell you that is a
It's
riot.
underrated.
Our TikTok is underrated.
Yeah, I need to post more on it though.
We have like 20 followers, but Luke goes off on that thing, dude.
Very funny.
I need to post more on
What
it.
is it? What's it?
Luke runs it. It's just the
It's
corduroy
just
blue.
the
right?
corduroy blue.
Yeah, it's the corduroy blue everywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Corduroy-
Well,
Corduroy blue season, baby.
I'm gonna put this out in probably tomorrow or the next day.
I just
and,
followed you too, Nordista Free, and I follow Nordista Free's arts. That's actually really cool. You have like an
Yeah.
art account.
Hey, what? Yeah, I do.
That's
You
so
found
cool,
it.
dude.
You found
Yeah,
my art.
Is that like your art or is that like fan art?
That's just art that I make, and then I do photography too. Both of which are very
Oh.
much just like I guess passion, or just trying to create stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. All mediums, yeah.
We love it. Well,
Yeah.
we love you, man. We're really stoked that you had us on. This was an absolute pleasure. We should do it again. Part 2.
Yeah,
Yes,
man. Whenever
please.
y'all got some more music and you want to hop back on and like something you want to promote or whatever, we'll time it
Yeah,
out like
man.
that, and we can for sure talk next time, anytime. So,
Totally. I would love it. So yeah, pre-save Wonderman. We're playing with Teddy February 11th at Smith Soul Bar.
go to that.
And at Flicker Bar Athens February 17th. So trying to stay busy, but You know how it is, brother.
And
Keep
if you're
marching.
if you're in San Francisco, look out for Matthew. And if you're at Planet Fitness, look out for Luke. He'll be there.
Don't call me out with the Planet Fitness, but you're right. Absolutely right.
Oh man,
I'll see y'all soon. I hope. It's great talking.
dude, I would love it. When you're back in Atlanta, we'll try and link up.
Yes, that'd be wonderful.
It'd be a
Be
pleasure.
Great
well.
to meet
Enjoy the
you.
rest of y'all's night.
We
You
will,
too.
man. We
Thank
will
you,
from this
Nordista.
car. I gotta get gas. All right, see you.
Bye, man.
Peace, bro.
All right, see ya.